Rin fans, meta slays, free-to-plays, and whales alike, Yorokobe, for at last our uses goddess has finally arrived, Space Ishtar. We'll be going over everything from her quick, buster, and arts NP farming compositions with in-depth damage numbers, to her survivability and extra attack damage niche. If you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe below. With that, let's get on with Space Ishtar's analysis. Space Ishtar, as of the date of this video, currently holds the 11th highest attack stat at 12,612 and the 24th lowest HP stat out of all 5 stars at 13,041. Now, I'm sure most of you watching this are already familiar with her skill set, so I'll be providing a brief summary. Space Ishtar's skill set provides a party-wide attack buff, charm immunity to allies excluding herself, a one-time NP damage buff with a one-hit invincibility, an NP card type changer, and a 50% battery with a chance-based card type buff. Space Ishtar's notable passive skills include a combined 42% debuff resistance up, 16% critical strength up, and a 3.5% NP charge per turn passive. Looking at Space Ishtar's NP, it provides a 100% extra attack buff and increases her own NP damage by 20% or more depending on overcharge for 3 turns. At a glance, Space Ishtar already provides some significant advantages for both farming and challenge quests alike, with a one-hit invincibility to help her survive an enemy NP, as well as a 42% passive debuff resistance. Space Ishtar is well positioned to take on most story and challenge quests, though it is important to note she does not grant herself the charm immunity from her first skill, as she's just a little too cultured herself to obtain full charm immunity. One of Space Ishtar's main drawbacks is her noticeably lower HP stat, as well as a lack of a heal for prolonged fights. As for her farm capability, in this next section, we'll be going in-depth into the average NP refund and damage values for all her NP card types, the most optimal supports, and the requirements for looping with each card type. For our farming teams, we'll be factoring in the usual supports for Space Ishtar's quick, arts, and buster NP card types. For the sake of simplicity, we'll be avoiding Arash, Chengong, and Habitrot memes except for certain comps, as these simply have too many possible variations for looping. For our E-Luck masters out there, we'll be assuming Space Ishtar's self-card buffs fail every time, and account for a minimum RNG NP damage. With that, let's get started with the quick memes. Starting off with the quick comp, in order to quick loop with Space Ishtar, you will need an MLB K-Scope, double Scotty, and either a Rhaenys or a Waiver. In this comp, at NP1, Space Ishtar deals a minimum 151,000 points of neutral damage per enemy and 202,000 points of neutral damage per enemy at NP2. For this quick comp, NP refund is not a factor, assuming you're working with a post-buff Rhaenys. Otherwise, her Big Bro Waiver will suffice just as well for looping. Now, if you're wondering if Space Ishtar can quick loop with the upcoming Lotto CE Traces of Christmas, the answer is yes, provided you have your own Astolfo. Luckily, to loop in a 6CE comp for Christmas 2021, you'll need an NP1 Astolfo, NP2 Space Ishtar, and double Scotty. However, it is important to note that she may not be able to quick loop in a 6CE comp for future Lottos if they don't include a 50% starting NP charge CE. For turn order and damage values, feel free to view all those in the document linked in the description below. If you're looking to build a quick comp for Space Ishtar, you're in luck, as Scotty's banner is coming around the corner this November during the 19 million download campaign. As for Rhaenys, she will be getting another raid up during her interlude campaign around June of 2022. If you don't want to add any more Mappa Tofus to your call layout while rolling for Rhaenys, however, you can also get your own waiver with the free SSR ticket that we'll be getting with the 20 million downloads campaign around April of 2022. With that, on to the arts memes. For our arts comp, while there are many ways to arts farm with Space Ishtar, we'll be focusing on a simple double Castoria with no CE required and a Fragment of 2004 Mystic Code composition for optimal Lotto and Bond farming. We'll also be going over a free-to-play composition involving only a single support Castoria for those of you who happen to miss out on summoning Castoria next year. Starting with a double Castoria comp, there is an exception when farming Berserkers. At NP1, Space Ishtar's refund falls a little short and requires a plug-suited Rhaenys or a Waiver to fully loop in a 6CE setup, although her NP2 counterpart can get away with a Tropical Summer Mystic Code. an NP1 Space Ishtar should be able to loop against all other classes, dealing a minimum 102,000 points of neutral damage per enemy, or 137,000 points at NP2, while her arts damage is noticeably lower than the other comps. The arts team is the only composition that allows for full 6 CE farming against any class without using Arash, Shangong, or Windows XP memes. If you're concerned about her damage, using Pluxie for an extra Tamamo will bump her neutral minimum NP1 damage from 102,000 to 139,000, and her minimum NP2 damage from 137,000 to 185,000, which is more than enough for most free quests, lotto farming included. If you're looking for a free-to-play friendly comp for Space Ishtar, then the best setup I can recommend would be using a level 100 Painting Summer CE, a support Castoria, your own Lan Ling, and your own waiver, which you can obtain with the SSR ticket events I mentioned before. This free-to-play comp is one of the few that are able to both reliably loop against Berserkers while also dealing reliable neutral damage against other enemy waves. This damage aspect is where supports like Paracelsus and Asclepius unfortunately lack in providing. In this free-to-play composition, by Wave 3, NP1 Space Ishtar deals a minimum of 118,000 neutral damage per enemy, at NP2 deals a minimum 158,000 neutral damage per enemy, and a level 100 Grailed NP2 Space Ishtar deals a minimum 171,000 neutral damage per enemy, which is more than enough to clear the majority of common free quests. The benefits of Space Ishtar's various arts compositions include 6 CE farming against most classes, while only requiring a double Castoria, opening up 3 whole servant slots for maximum bond farming during lotto events, which will come in handy for those looking to earn a few extra servant coins from those bond levels. However, in this double Castoria comp, if you don't use any plug-suit supports or CEs to boost Space Ishtar's damage, Space Ishtar will be required to be at least NP3 or higher or Grailed to level 100 and at NP2 or higher for clearing most requests in this team. Space Ishtar can also farm waves with less than 3 enemies, though she will be requiring either a plug-suited support or secondary DPS depending on the wave. If you want to see a demonstration of this, I'll have the videos linked to X9's farming irregular enemy waves and level 90 plus Lotto Quest video with Space Ishtar in the description below. As for the best art supports, Castoria, one of the most crucial units to farming teams and challenge quests alike, will be debuting during our 5th anniversary event around July of 2022. As for the free-to-play composition, 4-star Prince of Lan Ling will be getting a raid-up this coming December during the 11th Interlude campaign, and another raid-up during the Summer 5 event around August of 2022. Now, getting a 4-star doesn't make the easiest free-to-play composition, though Prince of Lan Ling, after multiple simulations, proved to be the best candidate short of a 5-star for assisting Space Ishtar in reliably looping against all classes for both refund and damage with a single Castoria. Plus, he is a permanent 4-star, so he has a chance to spook you in any of your future roles. When it comes to 3-turn buster farming with Space Ishtar, you have a few options. Option 1, MLB K-Scope with double Koyanskaya and Atlas Academy Mystic Code. Option 2, a 50% starting NP charge CE with double Koyanskaya and a plug-suited 50% NP battery support. Or Option 3, a 6 CE comp with no CE, double Koyanskaya, and a plug-suited Oberon. It is important to note that double Koyanskaya's damage can be misleading. For example, when using an NP2 Space Ishtar with a level 100 K-Scope and double Koyanskaya against manned and human-traded enemies, by the 3rd wave, Space Ishtar hits for about 227,000 damage per enemy, compared to only 107,000 damage at the same NP level against non-manned and human-traded enemies. Although a plug-suited Oberon on the 3rd wave would be more than enough to ensure the damage for a 3-turn clear. Now, it is possible to buster loop with double Oberon. However, due to Oberon's most important buffs having a 1-turn duration and putting your servant to eternal sleep after use, it is difficult to recommend double Oberon as a damage output for the first 2 waves may not be enough for certain free quests. However, if you're still curious about trying a 6 CE Unga Bunga comp with double Oberon, then I'd suggest bringing in an NP5 Habitat, a Koyanskaya, and the double Oberons. The idea of this comp is having both Space Ishtar and an Oberon buffing Habitat with their party-wide buffs, using Habitat's NP on the 1st wave, cremating Sudoku with her 3rd skill, and bringing in your Koyanskaya to further buff your Space Ishtar. Then plug suit her out for the second Oberon, and you guys can get the idea from there. Here are the damage values if you're seriously curious about running this comp. One of the biggest benefits to the Buster looping setups is that it can farm through any irregular wave without regard for NP refund, depending on your composition. However, due to the expensive nature of these Buster comps for Space Ishtar often requiring a K-scope or a plug-suited support, and potentially dealing lower damage output than her art setup depending on the enemy type, it is hard to recommend Space Ishtar for use within a Buster setup, given she also has the ability to farm some irregular enemy waves even within the art's comp itself. Although it is fun to see some third wave Unga Bunga damage every now and then. For the best Buster support units, Koyanskaya will be releasing with the 6th anniversary campaign around July of 2023, with Oberon following soon after, around August of 2023. While both of these units provide some of the strongest damage buffs in the game, neither of them really provide anything further for survivability. Although, if you end up incinerating everything in sight, then I guess it doesn't matter as much. If you find yourself having a card with Space Ishtar before any buffs from skills or passives, an Arts Quick Arts Brave Chain will yield about 32% NP charge. A Buster Quick Brave Chain will yield about 15 crit stars. Any Buster Arts Buster Brave Chain will deal about 33,000 total neutral damage. If you want to take advantage of Space Ishtar's extra attack damage niche, then when using an Arts NP into an Arch Brave Chain, Space Ishtar's extra attack damage with her own buffs in combination with double Castoria can deal around 38,000 points of neutral damage. And when using Space Ishtar's Buster NP into a Buster Brave Chain, the extra attack damage jumps to 43,000 neutral damage. If you happen to have Space Ishtar's first Depend skill level, then you're looking at about 54,000 neutral damage from a single extra attack card. Some of the best supports for Space Ishtar include Castoria, Prince of Lanling, and Asclepius. Castoria, of course, is a staple to looping with Space Ishtar, providing excellent NP charge, NP gain, arts buffs, attack buffs, unpierceable invincibility, the list goes on. And while Space Ishtar is capable of looping with other supports such as Scotty and Koyanskaya, Castoria is still my most recommended support as she provides the most consistency for both longer challenge quests and 3-turn farming, while also allowing Space Ishtar to farm in a 6CE comp even against irregular enemy waves. Castoria will make her debut starting around July of 2022 during our 5th anniversary campaign. You'll also have another chance to obtain her during the Avalon Le Fay campaign around June of 2023. Prince of Lanling helps guarantee Space Ishtar's chance-based card buff skill to land, vastly improving her consistency and damage output. He also provides a small arts and attack buff. Prince of Lanling will have an upcoming split raid-up during the 11th interlude campaign coming this December. If you want to wait for a solo raid-up, Prince of Lanling will also have a raid-up during the Summer 5 event and Summer 5 event rerun around August of 2022 and May of 2023. And finally, for Asclepius, he provides everything that Space Ishtar needs for longer fights, from beefy heals to NP charge. Keep in mind, when combining Asclepius' 50% debuff resistance with Space Ishtar's passives, Space Ishtar gets a total 92% debuff resistance, giving her a near 3-turn immunity to debuffs from a skill on a 5-turn cooldown. Asclepius is a story-locked 3-star servant. However, if you don't want to chance the story Gamba, he will be getting a raid-up during the 12th interlude campaign, coming this February in 2022. As for craft essences, I recommend the Black Grail, Art of the Poisonous Snake, and Painting Summer. The Black Grail is a rather essential NP damage boosting craft essence, as while Space Ishtar is able to loop, her damage falls short of clearing most third enemy waves, especially at NP 1. Painting Summer is an ideal welfare craft essence that we received during the Summer 3 event that provides a small arts and NP gain buff along with a 50% NP battery that allows you to spread your NP gauge skills over a longer period of time. And for those of you who happen to miss out on all the good welfare arts CEs, the Art of the Poisonous Snake is a useful craft essence for quickly and reliably 3-turning against all common classes, including Berserkers, with Space Ishtar. As for command codes, I recommend Da Vinci-chan for higher NP damage and any command code with a heal, such as Maiden of Orleans, to help with Space Ishtar's survivability. Now, as for how Space Ishtar compares to the other arts farmers, such as Musashi Berserker and Kama Musashi Berserker and Kama Avenger, Space Ishtar has some of the most consistent NP damage values among the top 3 arts farmers. However, Kama Avenger has a much higher damage ceiling and currently has the fastest farming time, beating Space Ishtars by about 13 seconds per run, and Musashi Berserker beating Space Ishtars by about 7 seconds per run. If you want to see an in-depth comparison between Space Ishtar, Musashi Berserker, and Kama Avenger, I'll have the links to both comparison videos in the description below. If you're interested in Musashi Berserker, she'll be getting another raid up with the Summer 4 rerun event, coming around June of 2022. And if you want to try for Kama Avenger, she'll be getting her first raid up with the Summer 6 event around September of 2023. If you're dead set though on Space Ishtar, then she'll be needing 45 eggs to max level her skills, and another 5 if you get her costume dress as well. Luckily, between now and the Summer 5 event next year, which comes right around Castore's release, we'll be getting a total of 68 eggs from event shops, main quests, and campaigns, although Castore is going to need another 33 eggs to max her skills as well. Regardless of your choice of farmer, be it Space Rinface, American Beef, or Lollybait, all of them will be perfectly viable farmers for the majority of your future 6CE arts farming needs. In summary, Space Ishtar is one of the most unique servants to date, having the ability to adapt herself to any card meta, forming a brand new extra card damage niche, and a skill set that allows for 6CE arts farming for optimal lotto comps. Space Ishtar also has lower survivability with only a single hit invincibility, making her a harder sell for longer challenge quests, and her NP damage, especially at NP 1, will struggle to clear most requests without a plug-suited support or CE. With all of that in mind, Space Ishtar earns an S rank from me. While her damage is an issue, Space Ishtar being able to optimally farm with whatever supports you have is a huge advantage that no other DPS currently has. And if you're able to get her to NP 3, or get her Grail to level 100 at NP 2, she should be able to clear through most requests you'll encounter in a full 6CE comp. I hope you learned something new here, and if you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe below. And if you want to see me live when I do my NP5 Space Ishtar rolls, feel free to check me out on twitch.tv/Pocketchalk. I wish you the best of luck in your rolls, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters!
お仕事終了。ボーナス弾んでね、マスター。